Today, I am going to tell you guys about a pattern that I noticed in my own coaching and consulting business, but it took me a lot of hours. It took me a lot of time, and it took me years to be able to name it. I have sat across from business owners. I have participated in phone calls. I have met people for coffee. I have allowed people to DM me. I have sent 40 minutes of notes to people. I have given them advice. I have given them strategies. And if they would have booked me through my coaching or consulting business, it would have cost them thousands of dollars. But guess what? They got it from me for free. No invoice, no contract, just me wanting to help someone who reminded me of myself when I started my own business. And here's the part that really dug deep for me, because I didn't even get a review. I didn't get a testimonial. I didn't get a referral. And sometimes I barely got a thank you. So today we are going to talk about something that a lot of new entrepreneurs get wrong. And it's not because they are careless. I think it's simply because they have been taught that giving your work away for free is how you are going to build a name for yourself. But I am going to challenge that today. And I want to give you a better way to be generous. And it's going to be a way that doesn't cost you your time, your energy, or your bottom line. So if you are new here, my name is Dr. Brooks, and I have spent over 16 years in human resources and leadership, and I have built my own consulting business. I help entrepreneurs and nonprofits build strong foundations. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about is coming from me running my business, and I am going to share my mistakes because those mistakes have helped create the businesswoman that I am today. And one of the biggest mistakes that I made, and one of the biggest mistakes that I constantly see, is entrepreneurs confusing generosity with giving everything away for free. So when I first started my consulting business, I wanted to help everyone. Basically, if someone would call me and if they would tell me that they were having a problem, but they just couldn't afford my rate, but they wanted to pick my brain, I would say yes. And there was this one particular woman, and I'm going to change the details, but the shape of the story is going to be true. So she reached out to me about a business problem that she was having, and she was telling me that the problem was costing her a lot of money every month. And so we got on a phone call, and I asked her, the right questions. I gave her a full breakdown. I let her know what was broken, why it was broken, and I gave her the strategy to fix it. That conversation, if she would have went through my website and actually booked me, that would have cost her about $1,000 to $1,500. She thanked me and she said it was so helpful, and then nothing. No follow-up, no review, no referral, not even a, hey, I implemented what you said and it worked. And let me be clear about something. I'm not upset with her because she did nothing wrong. I was the one that gave her the advice and I gave it to her for free. So she owed me nothing. And I did that over and over. So that wasn't the first time. I've also had a similar moment where I had a nonprofit founder, they were building their nonprofit and they reached out to me and I spent hours with them. I spent several conversations with them. I helped her think through her board structure. I helped her funding strategy. I helped her identify a hiring problem that was costing her thousands of dollars a year. At the time, I had maybe over 5 years of HR and leadership experience, and I just handed it over to her for free because I believed in what she was building. And months later, I found out that she paid another consultant to take her through the second phase that I identified for her. Not me. She actually paid someone else. And so when I sat down with that, and I understood exactly why, because I was her free option. And what I've learned in business is free options are easy for people to set aside. But the paid options, those are the ones that people protect, they prioritize, and they actually do a follow through. And so if you are giving away stuff for free, I want you to stay tuned because I am really about to share some different options that you can use in order to not devalue yourself as a consultant, as a coach, as, a business owner, whatever it is, whatever your service is that you're providing. So here's the lessons that I learned behind the stories that I shared with you guys. And unfortunately for me, I learned it the hard way because it did cost me a lot of time and money. I learned that when something costs a person nothing, it is not going to be valued to that person simply because they have not invested in it. And I don't think that that's a character flaw in the person that I help or the people that I help. I think that's just human nature. Because what I've learned is we are going to protect, prioritize, and we're going to follow through on the things that we have invested in. That's like if I participate in a free workshop, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to do the homework. But if I paid to go to that workshop, I am more than likely going to do the homework. And that is statistical data. Like research studies show that when people invest in something, they are more likely to follow through. So when you are giving away your highest value of work, you are giving away your strategies, your insight, your years of experience for free. You're not just losing out on your income. What you're essentially doing is you are removing that thing that people need, that thing that makes you that person. And that's your skin in the game. And here's the part that I want you to know, especially if you are building a business right now, doing that over and over again, that doesn't make you known. It makes you tired. It trains people around you to see you as the free resource instead of the expert that you are. And it takes away your time, your energy, and people are not going to want to work with you. And so the people that are waiting and that are willing to pay you, you're going to be too tired to even help them. So I just want you to know that there's a difference between generosity and depletion. Generosity, it fills something up in you, it fills something up in them, and it helps that relationship. Depletion just empties you out with nothing coming back. And so basically a lot of entrepreneurs, they have been taught that depletion is the price of paying it forward when it isn't. Okay, so what does generosity look like when you are just not giving out your expertise away for free? Here are a few examples. So you can do like a low ticket webinar. So instead of a free 45-minute call for hundreds of people, you can teach the same core lesson to about 50 people at one time, and you could charge $25 to about $45 per seat. And so what happens is everyone is going to get the value, and then you're going to get paid for your time instead of, again, giving it away 100 times over. You can also do a paid workshop or intensive. And so that can look like a 2-hour live paid session where you can go deep into a specific topic. That can be, say, for instance, for me, pricing, hiring, positioning. Whatever your expertise covers, that is what you can dive deep in. And this is going to allow you to help a room full of people who probably cannot afford your full consulting rate. And it is going to allow you to do so without giving away unlimited one-on-one time. Another thing you can do is like a digital source or a guide, something that you build one time. It could be a template, a framework, it could be a short course, and people can purchase it for maybe $20 to $50, and it can solve a problem for them. And that's evergreen, right? Because it doesn't require you to personally show up every time someone needs your help. You can do pay what you can cohort, where you offer and occasionally and intentionally, product to someone. And that is not going to be your default. That is going to be something that allows you to genuinely have that philanthropy spirit. It is going to allow you to help people on your own terms, and it's going to have a cap on it. So instead of an open-ended, unpaid standing offer to anyone who asks you, you are going to have several offers. And notice what all 4 of those have in common. They let you help more people, not fewer people, right? But they also protect your time, and they put a small amount of skin in the game for the person that's receiving the help. So if you are a new entrepreneur or consultant and you are watching this video and you're thinking, okay, but people ask me for free all the time, what do I do? And so here's where I want you to start. First, I want you to build what I call a generosity ladder. That's your free content. Think of this video, right? It's going to sit on top. And so that's going to be for everyone. There's going to be no barrier to entry. And then I want you to build like one rundown, like a low ticket offer. So that can be a guide, a webinar, a mini workshop, something in the $20 to $50 range. And then below that is going to be a mid-ticket group offer. It could be a course, it could be a small group program. And then at the bottom is your highest value, your highest touch offer, your one-on-one consulting, that one-on-one coaching. And that is going to be at your real rate. So when someone asks for free help, you're not saying no to them. What you're doing is you're pointing them into one of those other directions that's, down the ladder. You're going to point them to something that was built exactly for where they are. And then the second thing is I want you to have a response ready before you even need it. You can have something like, I don't have room for, free one-on-one calls right now, but I have built something that is exactly for this situation. Let me go ahead and send it over to you. And so what that sentence does is it does two things. It's going to protect your time and it's going to help the person in front of you, right? The third thing is I want you to get comfortable with the truth. I want you to say no to unpaid work, because that is not the same thing as being helpful. And so you could be a generous person and a smart business owner at the same time. You don't have to sacrifice. And so those two things are not in conflict. Unfortunately for me, I used to think they were. And then the fourth thing is if you choose to do something for free, do it occasionally and do it on purpose and do it with a container around it. I want you to set a number of spots, a specific event, a defined time limit, and it's going to be intentional. And it's not going to be an open-ended thing. I want you to remember that being helpful to people should not cost you your time. And you always want to get paid. You always want to make sure that you're investing in yourself. And so you can offer people discounted rates if you feel led in your heart to help them. But from this day forward, I want you to put a dollar amount on it. I don't want you to just give away all of your expertise and experience for free. So looking back, I don't really regret helping people because that's the choice that I made. But what I do regret is I did not have a structure around how I would help people and what that will look like. And so I wish I would have had something in place from the beginning to kind of help me with my philanthropy work. Because what I realized is I was just helping all type of people. I was saying yes to whoever was the loudest or whoever was more persistent or whoever had the most compelling story. And so that was not sustainable for me. And it wasn't even fair to the people who were ready to pay and the people that actually valued my time. And so what I can say is building that structure did make me less generous. It just made me more useful, for more people for longer. And so that's the version of, building a name for yourself. That is what works, not free labor, but a body of work that people can find, learn from, and eventually invest in. So if you are early in your business and you have been telling yourself that giving away your expertise for free is how you are going to build credibility, I want you to reconsider that. I want you to build something instead. Build a webinar, build a guide, build a workshop, something that is going to let your knowledge reach more people than a phone call ever could. And it is still going to respect the knowledge that you have, and it is still going to put a value on your worth. And, you can be generous all you want, but you can also be that paid expert that you're working to become. And so those are the same person, I promise. So I don't want you for one moment to think that I just want you to be greedy. No, I want you to value your time. I want you to value your intellect, value your expertise. That is what I want you to value. So if this is the kind of conversation that you find helpful, that real talk about running a business, not just the good times, but also the bad times, then I'd love for you to stick around. Because I am constantly putting out videos like this. And so if you are building something on your own, and this is going to be a good place for you to be. So what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you want to keep learning about how to price and how to structure your own business and your own expertise so you won't get stuck in that free consulting trap, then you definitely need to connect with me, because that is why I am here. And then I also have a link in the description of this video that would allow you to take a quiz to see what type of leadership style you have and then get your free download. So again, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.